a lot of people always ask me, say, Lat, what did you carry? What exact tools did you need to do a robbery? So I thought I would actually show you today. Now, I want to emphasize this. Everything I'm only doing is just to educate people on what robbers do. This way they don't get robbed. And hopefully some jewelry store owners themselves will understand what I'm doing. All right, let me get to this video. And even the reason I'm wearing this shirt is because I used to always have a sports jacket with long sleeves, of course, and nice. I always wore. Now I'm gonna give you the items first and explain what every item means and what it does. Okay, obviously, rubber gloves. Regular rubber gloves for fingerprints. Now, what I would do with these rubber gloves is I would carry 3 pair. Always 3 pair, because you could rip them, you could do something, and you want to have another glove to put it on. And obviously, I'd put these in one of the pockets of my sports jacket. That's one of the pockets. Usually the right pocket had the gloves, because that's the first thing I grab after I grab my gun and take the person down. The next thing I would do, obviously, they're on the floor, and on the left side I had flex cuffs. These are called flex cuffs. And they would be put on a person and zipped. I'm not gonna zip me, I'll cuff myself up. And they'd boom, and I would put them behind their back, and you won't break these. Obviously, they're gonna be tight together, and you're gonna be like this. And you notice the way I did it. I didn't just do it around both arms. They're almost like each individual. So they're like this, and they're behind their back so they can't get leverage to break it. One did happen at the end, but that's probably because we put them on wrong. But anyway, I'd carry multiple. I sometimes used to carry 5 or 6 pairs of these. Now these are in there just like this, and I would put them in my jacket pocket. Wouldn't even know it. I used to put 2 pair there, and I'd put 1 pair inside and stuff like that. I carried a BB gun. Remember what I just said, a BB gun. Look at this BB gun. If this does not look real, you could not tell that this is a BB gun. If I pointed this at you, you would never know. Even the barrel is big. Look at that. Look right into that. And you'd think you're being robbed. When I pull this out, because this would be in my back, I'd go in, I'd start talking to people, and then all of a sudden, I'd come, when I come out, get down on the floor, get on the floor. And they'd be fucking freaking, and I'd get down. I'd put it really quick, and I would pull in out of these, my flex cuffs, out of my pocket, and I would cuff them up. Now, I didn't gag anybody. I did not do gag because I didn't want anybody to choke, but they would be cuffed up, and I'd keep them, close your eyes, don't open your eyes. Don't you dare open your eyes. So now they're on the floor, literally cuffed. Now, you're not gonna get a fingerprint off of this. So the next thing I do is put on my gloves. And I would actually put these on and take my time putting them on, because I wanted to make sure they were on. And you will put them on, because once you start going around that place, I made sure. When I say made sure, look at this. I made total sure that I didn't touch anything in that store. When I walked in, I would actually open the door with my knuckles. So if it was a pull, I'd open it, they'd buzz me, I'd pull it in. Now I never touched the thing. Now I'm going up to the counter, I'm looking around, never touching a thing. And I was very conscious of that. So here, look what happened. See what happened? These are old gloves, but did you see what happened? It went like that. So what's the first thing you do? You put it back in your pocket. You don't leave it. You put it back in your pocket. You pull out another one. And again, these gloves are really, really old. But then I would put this on like so. I am ready, guys. I am totally ready to go rob, and you're not going to get fingerprints out of these. Now, I would leave after I took them off. When I got in the car, obviously, they're with me. You make sure you don't leave anything behind. Now, the guy is on the floor. I have his cuffs on, and I would go about the store. Notice, everybody, I have 2 pair of glasses here. Actually, these are my glasses. You guys will probably notice that. Well, back in the day, when I was robbing jewelers, I didn't wear glasses. I never wore glasses. But what I did was I had actually nice glasses. They were just clear glass. Now, nobody knows that. You can buy it just clear glass, or the worst, I've had clear glass. So I would have a pair of glasses on, and I usually had them where they were nice, kind of glasses. Now, whatever glasses they were, I had multiple different types of glasses. I normally, on the outside, on the streets, in a normal way, I would not have facial hair. But during a robbery, or on the streets, I had facial hair. I had a goatee, always. So what I would do during a robbery is I would shave. I'd be clean shaven. And believe it or not, by the time I get back to Florida, where I go, dropping off the jewelry, my goatee is growing in already. I actually had one of these. I had an actual wig. Now, I used it only once, but it wasn't this wig, but it was actually a good wig. And you could actually, I must look fucking funny as shit. But I actually had a real one, and I had hair anyway. So I had a piece that would add on it. I had one time it was a longer piece, or I'd part my hair differently, or I'd even color it in a different way. I remember one person said that there was a redheaded guy that did it. Redheaded is the police report. I had it tinted, so you would never know it. But so I was clean shaven, but I had different kind of hairs. So, here is something you would use. When you're doing all of that, you have all your stuff, your gun is back. Now my gun was in my front. I didn't go in the back. I had to only pull it one out. I'm also showing you this. This is an earpiece, and it would go on my ear like that, and I can hit a button and the light goes on. Now, the only reason I kept this, and I kept it in a pocket, never had to use it, kept it in a pocket. And the reason I had it was because if I went into a back room and I couldn't find a light switch and it's dark and I knew the box of diamonds was in there, I would put that on, I'd be able to see. Not that I'm going in there sneaking, but you might be in a room that you can't put the light on. So I was always prepared. That's the key, being prepared. I kept this, ladies and gentlemen. This was my luggage. What this is a pillowcase, and it's pretty big. So I would have a pillowcase, and now look at the way I'm folding it. I'm folding it like this, and when I put it in me, I put it in my pants with my shirt in it, my white shirt. So now, after I get everything set, the guy's down, we're starting to pull, I would pull my shirt up, boom, and it's ready to go. Look what I just did. It is ready to go. It would always be with this top up. This would be up. So when you pull it, you pull out and you're ready to go. Now this pillowcase is for putting all my diamonds when I'm clearing the safe out. So the key to the robbery was being so organized. When I went in, I knew every single step I was gonna make. So how I would do it is I'd go into the store with knuckles. I would open the door, never touch a thing. A lot of people say, well, there's buzzers in stores. They have the buzzers that go around some of the display cases. Now those buzzers go to the police department. So what I would do is I knew where the buzzers were from casing the place. And now they even later in the last of my robberies, they had a device they could put in their pocket. Now it looked like a keychain, but the keychain was actually an alarm. But they had to hit the alarm. I knew that, so when I did my robbery, when I had my gun and I wasn't with the hands yet, and it was in there, and I was in the sports jacket, and I looked good, I'd have glasses on, my hair nice, I had a Rolex watch, I had a jewel chain. I don't own a Rolex watch, that's why I didn't wear one. I have a a regular Apple Watch. I would go in there. It was very important on timing. I would have to know where everybody's in. Nobody would be in the store because I knew that already. And then what would happen was somebody, you know, when I'm ready now, if I'm alone, I know there's 2 employees. I know where the 1 employee is. And if I'm with a partner, he's going on my queue. So now the owner is the one I always took down, or the manager or owner. Now, when I seen him, he'd know, oh, hey, Mike, and he'd come in, you know. When he's coming between the counters and I see his hands, then I just jump up, get down, it's a robbery. And I'm screaming. He's freaking out. I get down, don't fucking move. And I put him right down on the floor, right there. Then out comes the flex cuffs. Boom. Put them up, click. Out comes my gloves. And I'm telling him, you move, don't you open your eyes. Keep your eyes shut. Shut your eyes. Now, at that moment, if the 2 employees, which usually were, I sometimes got them both down. But my partner would get the other person. He don't go until my cue. Because I had it all known where everybody was, which was very important. I had to know where everybody was. So once I knew where everybody was, I got that person down. And now they're both cuffed up, set, boom. They're shutting them out. Sometimes I brought in another person, would go to the door and give a knock, and they'd be looking, waiting, and they'd walk in like a normal person. Now the car would have been brought around the back, and the back of the store would be our Getaway. And now we each got the same setup. We're all set up the same way. Now our gloves are on. We all had specific jobs. My job was watching the people and hitting the safes and where the big money was. I knew it. My other accomplice, whether it was my brother or Jimmy or whoever it was, would go and start emptying out jewelry cases. And they would never break them, breaking glass and all that kind of bullshit. They'd open them. We'd get the key right off the owner, open them. Where's the key? They'd give everything right up, open it, take it out, put it in. Emptying all the jewelry cases. We love to see Rolex watches. If I saw Rolex watches, I was getting $2,000 every Oyster Perpetual gold Rolex. $2,000. They retailed for about $5,000 or $6,000, whatever it was. I would get $2,000 every one. So if I knew there were 50 of them, I'm looking, there's $100,000 right there in my pocket. So anyway, now I got the people on the floor. I'm all done. Now you're wondering what's this here. This is what they call a Molotov cocktail. It's a bottle, could be a beer bottle, could be a soda bottle, anything. It would be full with gasoline. There would be a rag hanging out, and you'd tape that rag around the top. That's a Molotov cocktail. What you would do with a Molotov cocktail, I've used them because I would start a diversion. And what I would do is I would sometimes a mile away or 2 miles away, depending, check out times and response times in the area beforehand or during a robbery. I would have somebody at the exact time I told them, light this, throw this into a dumpster, or throw this into a complex where there's cars. Guess what happens? Not only did the fire department go there, the police go there. So the police, no matter what, I know where they all are. Because I told you, to case a store, you got to know everything about that jewelry robbery, that area. You got to know when the cops are coming. You got to know when the postman's coming. You got to know when FedEx is coming. You got to know what every employee's car is. Are they coming? Are they going? Is there like a certain day for other jewelers to come in and do business with them? You got to know everything. That's all casing the store. So now there's a diversion. Cops are there. I got these people down. I got my pillowcases out, and I'm starting to stuff them. I would take care of the safe and all that. The other guys would take care of everything else. One robbery in Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, I felt like the general. I knew what was in it. It was a garbage store, Friedman Jewelers. And I only say garbage because they're a chain store, and they really didn't have the wholesale stuff I wanted. But anyway, I did the robbery, and when I was in there, I put the people down, and then I had my guys, and there were 2 cabinets along the whole wall, display cases. One was on one side. I was walking up and down. It was nothing. It was one little safe. I took care of that quick. Now I'm up and down going, get that, like the general. I'm in a suit. In fact, I went up to the front window, and I was looking out while it was a rainy day. I'll never forget that. And I'm looking out, and people are running to their cars with umbrellas, walked right by with umbrellas. Nobody cared. Even though you're on the thing, they get ready to go to their car. They're not coming into you. It's not a shopper's day. So it was a perfect timing to do that robbery. So now after we're done, the next step is getting out. Now you have 3 pillowcases full of diamonds. It's just full. I mean, you don't know what's in there yet, but it's full. Now you got your car, and it was usually a rent-a-car, and it had a fake plate on it as well. Now some robberies, there wasn't a back, so I had to actually park in the front, and I would park in like a normal person pulling in and get out of the car like I'm the regular guy, and I'd walk in, they'd see it. Now they recognize the car, but remember, anybody who gets that plate number, but nobody ever recognized the car, ever. It's not like, oh, that was the car they got. That was not the car they got. The one person who got my plate number, that was the one who wanted to get me, sell me a ring, but that person wasn't in the robbery I'm talking about. That was just a fluke accident. So anyway, now I'm in the back, usually in the back. Now, when I'm in the back of the jewelry store, I already case that, who comes, goes, and whatnot. But when I'm ready to go, I make sure that there was no commotion out front. Everything was good. Nobody's knocking on the door to get in, because they have buzzers on the doors, some of them. And if they have a buzzer on the door, I let them in. And they're getting cuffed up. They're going to be cuffed up and put on the ground in the back, and they're part of the robbery. So anyway, what I would do then is, after I knew they was back, I would open the back door and quick look, make sure no one's around, and then quickly the 3 of us will boom, get in that car, and we are gone. We are getting distance between ourselves and that store. Right when I'm in that car, wham! And I would get both gloves, take them right off, and always put them in my suit pocket, my sport coat pocket. Always do that. And I would, obviously, if I had glasses on, which I did, I'd take those off. I would mush my head or put a hat on. I would do something different. Even then, now if we had the 3 people, it was a 3 people, the 2 would be on the floor. The one in the back is on the floor, and my partner would be on the floor in the passenger side, period. And that's, now you're a 1 person in a car, different hat, they don't know what it is. If anybody got the plate because they saw something suspicious for anything, the plate's gonna be wrong, it's a stolen plate. Then we'd get to the major highway we're going, usually 95, because I was up and down the East Coast. Once I'm there, I would take 95, and the first thing is get to a rest stop and flip the plates. I'm a legitimate plate now. Jewelry's in the trunk of the car already, because when I came out, it goes in the trunk of the car. Anything that's suspicious in that car, all is gone. In fact, if I had 3 people, I'd put one on a train. We used to call Jimmy trains, because it took him forever to get back to New York on a train. And he had some hell of a time getting back one time. It was with these women and all this shit and all that crap happened. But that was how I would do it. So I made sure none of us were all together, number 1. And also, the cops could be what they call a bolo, be on the lookout. And it would be 2 guys, 3 guys, or whatever. And I make sure there's only 1 visible. Because that's something a cop or a person with a scanner, back in those days, people had CBs and scanners and stuff like that, and they'd actually watch. But I was so calm, so normal, and I wouldn't race. I wouldn't do anything illegal. I wouldn't go through lights. I would get as far away, as quick as I can, most direct route, and on the highway. And people say, well, they're not gonna shut down 95 for a robbery on the beach in Daytona Beach. They're not going to do that. They don't know which way you're going to go. My getaway was so planned on timing that I would know how long it would take me to get to 95, and probably always figure out they didn't even get to the store yet. So before they're putting out a lookout for anything, I'm on 95 up the road 10 miles. So I made sure of that. I always did want to know, how long did it take somebody to get out of it? They call it being a fly on the wall. Arsonists get caught that way because they want to watch their fire. They're mental cases, and they want to watch their fire, and they actually get caught that way. But again, as you can see, I had such a organized way with the tools of the trade. And I used a BB gun, everybody. I didn't use a gun. I didn't need a gun. I wasn't shooting anyone. That's why I beat the gun charge and didn't get life in prison. This is a BB gun. A lot of people say, Larry, you didn't hurt anybody. And I didn't. I didn't physically throw people on around, pistol whip anybody. No, I didn't do that. But I did put fear into people. And, you know, that's something I had to live with and forgive myself for. Because I'm sure that's traumatized some people. I think they got over it. I think the owners liked it because, let's face it, guys, they're getting insurance money. Still wrong. Everything I did is wrong. I'll tell you that always. But these tools are the tools. People are wondering, what was that thing I didn't talk about? I always carried tape. And it was funny because I was always thinking about, if I had to use the tape, you could tape somebody's legs up real quick. The only person I ever thought about gagging was this one robbery I did. This guy, I was in a Sunrise jewelry store in Lauderdale Lakes, down on the beach in Fort Lauderdale area. And I do this robbery, and after I get in there, and I have a few people down on the floor, this people walked in, I got a bunch of people down, the owners. Now there's 2 girl workers, and this one guy is fucking being mouthy as fuck. He's just being a mouth. And I'm thinking, is this guy a cop? What the fuck is he doing? Why is he being so mouthy? And I go up to him, and I look at him, and I take his wallet out, and he's not a cop, you know, but I take his ID, and then he's looking, he's wondering what's going on. And I never touched customers' jewelry on their arm, like a girl's wedding ring. I just didn't touch it. It was something I didn't do. But anyway, this guy had a gold bracelet. It looked like a nice watch, and I didn't touch it, but this guy was so mouthy. I go up and I take off the bracelet, and it's a Fugazi. Now, if anybody here doesn't know what a Fugazi, New Yorkers will know, a Fugazi means it's a fake. It's a Fugazi. It's a fraud. If he's a Fugazi. Well, it was a Fugazi fucking gold thing. And I looked at this guy, and he's trying to be a big shot. And I looked at it. I go, you piece of shit with this Fugazi crap. And I threw it at him. And the 2 girls who worked in the place started laughing. They literally started laughing. And I'm like, this guy must have thought he was a big shot trying to impress these girls. You know, missed the customer there. And it was a Fugazi. And they laughed. I won't forget that either. It made me laugh. And he shut up then. But got out of that store and did our thing. But most people, you get them on the ground, they're done, they're going to close their eyes, they want it to be over, which is they should. And you teach anybody who's been in any robbery, and the cops do, don't be a hero, you know. You don't know if this is a real gun or not. Nobody does. Obviously, it's a BB gun. But you wouldn't know that. You just wouldn't know that. And, you know, obviously, I'm not going to do something to somebody. I didn't have any intentions ever. If it came to that, I would have gave up, and that would have been it. I would have been done. I had no intentions of doing that in a robbery. I mean, I was a pretty wild guy in the mob life. But during the robberies, I always knew you don't do a robbery with a gun. Because if you do a robbery with a gun, it's an extra charge. It's a gun charge. And the gun charge is called a 924C. If you look it up in the federal system, Code of Federal Regulations, the Criminal Code of Criminal Procedures. It's Criminal Code of Federal Procedures. You look up 924C. It's a person committing a felony with a gun. And in the commission of a felony, that's an extra 5 years on one robbery. 20 years for every robbery after that. That's why I was going to get 85 years just for the gun. But they found in a preliminary hearing that I did not have a gun. So they dropped the gun charge. Now they enhanced me. They call it an enhancement for using a weapon, or I don't know if they classify it as a weapon, but a threatening device or whatever they call it. And they enhance you points to make your level go up. And it's one of the reasons I went to a penitentiary. At least that's what they justify. I think it was because I wouldn't snitch. But these are the tools of the trade for being a criminal. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not proud of what I was or who I was. I really am not. I'm a lot prouder of what I do today to try to prevent people from doing stuff like this or helping jewelry stores not get robbed. In fact, you want to hear about all the crazy stories right here. Gangster Redemption. It's right here. There's links down below. It's the wildest story. People have no idea some of the pictures. My mobster pictures in here, stuff like that. But anyway, you can check it out in the link below. Gangster Redemption. And it has my robberies, every which way I did them. And it's an amazing book, and obviously the whole series is in our playlist. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. And if you haven't, watched a lot of our videos, I hope you like them and I hope you pass them around. And check our playlist out. Please put our video in your playlist and like it and maybe pass it around, share it on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or wherever you use your social media, TikTok, wherever you can do it. We would appreciate it, because I'm here to keep doing videos to try to educate people on what not to do to go to prison. Yes, these are the tools of the trade. I think a lot of people wanted to know what I did, how I did it, and what tools I used. These are the tools. So, ladies and gentlemen, please don't commit crimes at all, ever. I mean, it's not worth it. Losing my children, losing everything I ever had. It is who I am, but it's not worth it. Just always remember that. Have a great day, everybody. Please stay safe. Keep watching. Check out the links below. Have a great day.